right, it's about that time. Let's talk about the top 10 movies of 2024. This list was really, really hard. A lot of the films this year was affected by the strike. So there was a lot of studios that were just dropping some duds, but there were some interesting films that came out this year, to say the least. A lot of which were like really off the wall, strange, odd, funny, disgusting, disturbing, atmospheric, but overall very out of this worldly. But it was a good year, and I've compiled a top 10 list of what I felt were the most entertaining and best films. And this was a list of films that I've seen. I've seen a lot of films this year, but these were the best films that I've experienced, the ones that I felt like had some replayability. But before I start on my top 10 list, let's talk about the honorable mentions. Yes, this film did come out Christmas Day. However, whoa. The only reason that this one is an honorable mention is because it came out Christmas Day. And honestly, had I seen it a lot earlier, it would be on my list. Oh my gosh, Skarsgård as Nosferatu. Listening to the voice, you wouldn't even believe it's him. There's no way you would believe it's him. Even in the makeup, it's like there's no way that's Count Orlok. It is an incredible film. Late Night with the Devil. Honestly, when I actually got to see this film, I was blown away. This is not only creepy, it is disturbing, but at the same time, it was actually very captivating. You couldn't take your eyes off the screen, but definitely set the tone for horror films for 2024. It was awesome. Late Night with the Devil is definitely one of those films to watch, and watch with a bunch of people. Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. This film was very underrated, highly underrated. Furiosa was an epic look at the character Furiosa from the Mad Max saga. Anna Taylor-Joy did her thing. She was amazing, but honestly, the star and the performance that you have to see is Chris Hemsworth. This man killed it, just completely crushed it. George Miller had an amazing film here, and honestly, if this film would have made the waves that it needed, we would have had a Mad Max sequel called Wasteland. So you people suck. So buy some DVDs so we can get that going. Because honestly, I want to see this continue. This was an epic story. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, man. Y'all talk about girl power and women empowerment, man. Seriously, in the year of 2024, where long-awaited sequels just didn't do it, Inside Out 2 was a very good look at the teenage experience and how anxiety and all these new emotions just come into play. Honestly, I didn't expect it to even be as funny or as entertaining or even be as mature about this experience. And yet it's awesome. Definitely a great watch, a good watch for adults and kids. Honorable mention as well for 2024. So shout out to Pixar, man. God, y'all hitting them in the fields, man, for real. Get that Incredibles going, too. Honestly. Whew. The last film that I have from honorable mention is very unsettling, and honestly, that's what makes it amazing. Zone of Interest is one of those films that you can only watch once. It's unsettling nature and it's unsettling atmosphere, and just the overall coldness and performance makes it amazing. But it's one of those films you can only watch once. It's one of those experiences you can definitely say that you sat through, but man, you come through it on the other side with a whole different perspective. However, it didn't make my top 10 list only because of the fact of unrewatchability. So let's get into those top 10, shall we? Wild Robot. Oh my God, this film caught me by surprise. I could not believe how amazing this film was. This was really one of those emotional films that hit you in the feels and really had something to say that was heartfelt and relatable, especially to today's times when they're dealing with AI. Gotta check this out. This was an amazing experience to watch this. It's great for families, great for watching as adults, great to watch with the kids. Just gotta check this out, man. I guarantee you would love it. Rebel Ridge. You know what's crazy? Every now and then, Netflix hits you with a film that knocks it right out of the park, or a series that just really elevates the game and knocks it right out of the stadium. This was a movie that knocked it right out of the stadium. And Netflix, shout out to you. Rebel Ridge to me is really Black Rambo. Black Rambo. And Don Johnson over here is pretty much reprising his role as Big Daddy, just in a whole other modern form. He's Brian Dennehy in this film, basically, because oh my God, the tension that builds in this film, you will love it. I call it Black Rambo because it's First Blood, but just in a modern version. And man, Scar, oh my God, he's going places. I call him Scar because he looks like Scar in the face. Like for real, legitimately. If you had a man, if he was a lion, that's what Scar would look like in human form. But dude was awesome. Rebel Ridge, Black Rambo. Check it out. Yeah. The main thing that I loved about it was it built the tension all the way up to the very end. And that ending felt like anime. It was just like that. The music, the atmosphere, the tension, the shots, everything made this tennis match made it more than what it really was. And honestly, that's what made challenges awesome. So, number 8, challenges. Zendaya showed up and showed out on this one. Definitely, no, definitely one of the top for 2024. Normally, I'm not really interested in a film that's a love triangle. However, this one was different. This was not even a love triangle. This was a love letter, a love triangle that involved tennis. Yeah. And he went from Gambit to Diddy Epstein. Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, Blink Twice, which was honestly a very creepy but suspenseful and entertaining experience. Coming from where we had a lot of people brought up with, charges and allegations and things like that, this handled it very well with also bringing in that tension and showing the dangers of what it would be like to be on an island or at a retreat or some type of situation like this. I know you didn't think that this was not going to make the list. Shame on you, okay? This film is awesome. And if you didn't like it, maybe you just hate laughter. Maybe you hate entertainment because this film was great. It had everything. It had great laughs. It had a deep concept, standout performances from Ryan Reynolds and from Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and some of the best cameos you've ever seen in a film in the last, 5 to 10 years, with the last guy, Channing Tatum, that we just talked about for Blink Twice, now being in this with Gambit, and some of the most quotable lines we've had in a Marvel movie in forever. And then you had the return of Wesley Snipes as Blake. Come on now, seriously. What could you possibly not love about this film? Okay, yeah, there was some nostalgia bait, but who cares? This is a love letter to a genre of films that we'll never have again, from a series of films from 20th Century Fox that we hated. It was a great send off. So shame on you if you didn't like it. Boo hoo. It was great. This film right here. Talk about a sequel that surpasses its predecessor. Smile 2. Wow. Whoa. She gave a star-making performance. I love this film. This film blew my mind. It's not even one of those jump scare type of films. It legitimately had a gripping story and an amazing perspective and an incredible twists and turns. It was awesome. Amazing experience, and it surprised me and shocked the hell out of a lot of people. Great film, awesome sequel, Smile 2, definitely one of the best films of 2024. Growing up as a kid and as a teenager, there was a time where Hugh Grant was known as the nice guy, the lovable Englishman next door. Now fast forward, and here comes The Heretic. The Heretic is actually very tense. I enjoyed it a lot. Actually, this was very, very high up, as you can see by the number and the placement. This is one of those films that you'll talk about. You'll have to sit down with a group of people and watch it and then go sit down for dinner or for drinks and then really have a conversation, because you will question everything. It is a movie about questioning everything. And no one would have made this film as creepily entertaining as Hugh Grant. His charm and his performance is definitely Oscar worthy. I definitely see big awards for this guy, and he then deservingly well, because man, he is awesome in this. He is just so good. Coming in at number 3 was my biggest, now hear me out, of 2024. How do I even describe this? Honestly, one of the best body horrors I've ever seen in the last 10 years, maybe 20. The Substance, starring Demi Moore, who gives one of the best performances I've seen from her in a long time. This film has a hardcore message about the beauty standards of what we see in today's society. And boy, does it flip it right on its you know what, and just shows you a very dark side of the desperation and the disgusting, disturbing, and yet entertainingly funny side of trying to appeal to what beauty standards are today. It's crazy, but it's amazing. It was very in your face. It is a very uncomfortable film, and one I definitely would recommend to watch with kids, but whoa, man, I'm shocked that not a lot of people talked about this. This was definitely one of those movies that it's fun to watch with a group of people, but I wouldn't eat while watching this, especially that ending. It's going to shock and awe you. Ha. Now, coming in at number 2 was going to be Dune Part 2. This was big. This was huge. And I would say huge in the sense of performances, scenery, epic scale, storytelling. This was just massive and well worth it. The first one, I'm not going to lie, was a little dry to me. I was entertained by it, but I just didn't feel like it was worth the, the hoopla and the hype. This Dune 2, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I'm excited. Now I'm ready. Now it's funny because usually with a film like this, it would be number 1. And you would think, because of the special effects, because of everything, the cast, Timothée Chalamet, of course, you would think, and of course Zendaya, you would think that off the top, this was the best film. And for a lot of people it was, but for me, it was second best. Okay. My number 1 pick for best film of 2024 didn't require a lot of special effects, really didn't require a big, huge cast. As a matter of fact, you have one of the best performances of the year in Mikey Madison, because this film, Anora, was like The Hangover if it was taken seriously. Anora is amazing. It is tension. It is comedy. It is drama. It is suspense. It is high octane. You damn near feel like you're having a panic attack in certain scenes. It is incredible. And she gives one of the best performances of her career and of the year. Out of all the films that I watched, this right here shocked the hell out of me. This one right here was one of those films that I could recommend to anybody, and it had a rewatchability all over it. In my opinion, this may make a run for Best Picture. If not, it'll definitely be nominated. If you haven't checked this out in films or theaters, try to see if you can find it on your local, streaming platforms, because Anora was, in my opinion, the best film of 2024, hands down. Shout out to Sean Baker, man, because this one was crazy. This was a crazy ride and an entertaining one. So if you're sitting down and you're looking for films to watch and you happen to go over this list, please add this to your list and you'll understand why I say this is one of the best films of 2020. So there you have it. My top 10 movies of 2024. I'm Larry Williams. Salute to you guys, and I'll see you next year. Peace.